Okay, so we are live. So on behalf of Iskcon Seshadripuram's JSSS, I would like to invite and welcome all of you. And today we have with us Her Grace Hemagopi Mataji. So just a quick introduction about Mataji before we start with our session. So Mataji is basically from Chennai, and she is an engineer, a graduate, and she has worked in Alcatel Lucent company, and she got connected to Iskcon back in 1992. So almost she is practicing for 30 plus years. So it's our great fortune to have such senior Vaishnavas with us. And Mataji has been part of many services, including services in Mayapur. Like she was part of CDM ministry, Congregational Development Ministry, and helped in database of life membership department and a lot of other activities in the CDM department. And she has also served as a principal, as a teacher and a principal as well in the international school. Is it SMIS Mataji, or is it some other school where you were involved?
Yes, Prabhu, Shri Mayapur International School.
Oh, yes, Shri Mayapur International School. So those who don't know, like in Mayapur, we have SMIS, Shri Mayapur International School. So Mataji, so that is a part of Iskcon. Mataji can give more details, obviously. So we would like to welcome Mataji by chanting one time Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Over to you, Mataji. Yes. Just highlight you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Am I audible, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji, you are audible. Maybe co-host.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashta Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Jayapataka Swami Niti Namni Nama Acharya Padani Takripa Pradani Gaurakata Dam Dayana Gragramatari Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashta Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namni Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvase Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha-tarini Vancha Kalpatarubyascha Kripa Sindhubhyo Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna. It's my great pleasure and honor to be amidst all of you devotees. I'm very grateful for this opportunity to glorify Guru Maharaj. The topic I chose to speak about is Guru Maharaj, the ideal teacher. And I would like to give some background information which helped me reach to this realization. So I come from a very pious family, and as a tradition in India, all the people who are called sadhus are invited and asked for. All the children are asked to go and take blessings from such sadhus, and my family was something typical like that. And what I observed was, even though they called themselves sadhus and they were preaching something different in the public, when you get up close and see them, they were very different. And sometimes even what they were preaching was not really very, even to a science mind, you would know it's not really correct. Like I've come across sadhus who drink only coffee whole day, like that. So when you come across people like that, it kind of actually removes your faith on this whole sadhu system, and you kind of feel frustrated every time you have to get blessing from somebody. And it was easy for me to accept a thief who called himself a thief than to accept a sadhu who was in reality a charlatan. So that it was becoming something very predominant in my life that I did not like. So I was more a philanthropist than a spiritualist. I found that to be more meaningful. But I have a mother who's very spiritual, and she would never do anything that is second class. everything she accepted, everything she chose for us was always first class, and she was not dubious at all, and even before she met devotees, she was always a devotee of Krishna in her own concocted way, but never worshipped anyone else but Krishna. So she was like my kind of compass when it comes to understanding good and bad. So my father, who is a probation officer in something connected to police department, he gifted her Srila Prabhupada's book for some occasion in the family, like maybe wedding day or something. So she read Srila Prabhupada's book and she got the address, and she started regularly going to Iskcon temple, and she became very happy, and she started chanting, and she was trying to offer, and she spent a lot of time reading books. So my dad was thinking, I mean, this is a very common notion that the Hare Krishna people, they put some kind of drugs in your stuff. There's a history that the initial devotees were hippies. So there is this kind of drugs linked to the name. At least it was, Iskcon has grown so much and has devotees have created their own name now. But talking about that time, so he was actually genuinely worried. Not just his police mind, which was like kind of criminalish, but he was genuinely worried that my mother was picking up all these practices because maybe she was getting something. But I could not trust, because I had this firm faith in her that she will never go into anything that is substandard. But anyway, it was my duty to protect my mother. So I went with her. I started going with her to Iskcon. I started observing what is the potential source of drug that one may access. What is she eating? So I was just following like a kitten, so observing closely what she's doing, and I noticed that she was drinking charanamrit, and I drank, and for like full 20 minutes or so I just felt like laughing. So I thought, oh God, so this is where the drug is, huh? So this is what my mom is taking, and then she feels like she feels so happy, and she is becoming changing. Of course, she was changing for better, but I thought maybe, that this is where things are. I was bewildered, is she getting into another so-called sadhu group? What is she into? But I started reading what she was reading, to see what she's getting into. And I found how there was a exclusive and exquisite, beautiful glorifications of Lord Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And there was all these things, drugs, illicit sex, gambling, any other kind of intoxication, even meat, even onion, garlic, so even all those things were prohibited, and the standard of purity was very high, and it definitely made my mother a better person. So I was thoroughly convinced that she is not following something wrong just by reading the literatures that she was reading constantly. And I could understand why she relished those literatures so much, because I was myself feeling that way. So under the guidance of my Bhakti Vriksha leader, Her Grace Satyamadavi Mataji, and my mom, Her Grace Jayarada Mataji, I started reading Srila Prabhupada's books, Bhagavatam and Srila Prabhupada Leelamrita. And when I read Srila Prabhupada Leelamrita, for days at end, whenever I was reading, I couldn't stop crying, because it was first time I had exposure to a genuine sadhu. And more I read, more I felt great joy that I have been introduced to such a great sadhu. And of course, I had also I would also cry because of great sadness, because there was no way I could meet that sadhu at that time. Srila Prabhupada had disappeared, and I could not be his disciple. I could not take initiation from him because I liked that idea of Srila Prabhupada presenting uh, himself to his spiritual master's orders, and for making making his spiritual master's orders as his mission and life, and starting the whole Iskcon based on his first impressions of a genuine sadhu. I was all this was very pure, and it attracted me a lot, and I was very sad that I missed him, that I wouldn't ever be able to see him or take initiation from him. Some kind of heaviness in the heart, and by the blessings of the devotees, I was able to then regularly associate with His Holiness Bhanu Maharaj, who lives in Chennai generally for a good part. And Bhanu Maharaj, I would attend his Bhagavatam classes, and I started knowing him better. And more I learned about him, more I heard him, more I understood that here is a very genuine devotee of Srila Prabhupada, and somebody who is teaching the teachings of Srila Prabhupada in a very unadulterated way, and a genuine devotee who is following in the footsteps of Srila Prabhupada. So in my pain of the pain and sadness that was coming in my heart because I missed Srila Prabhupada, and I could never be his disciple, it subdued a lot, because I thought I could take initiation from another very genuine devotee, His Holiness Bhanu Maharaj. But then I was told that Bhanu Maharaj does not give initiation, and my heart sunk again. I felt really very sad, because it is very rare to find wonderful, genuine devotees, and when we don't get that connection, you just feel like, oh, another opportunity. One more time, I don't have a spiritual master, a spiritual guide to follow, and I was quite sad. But it was a decision to be respected. Yeah, if you respect someone, you accept if they desired not to give you diksha. At that time, I heard from devotees that His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj was visiting Chennai. He was in transit, going from some place to another and just halting in Chennai overnight. And he was arriving late night and leaving early morning. But there was like a super, the air was filled with excitement, and it was like a hyped. A lot devotees were all just simply genuinely happy, and most of them were his disciples, and all of that inspired me to check out, as they call it, who is this person now, is this the person I'm looking for, so but unfortunately he was just going to be there mostly in the night, and morning he was going to leave. So I did not know how to connect with him. And Tarini Mataji, she's the wife of temple president Sumitra Krishna Prabhu, and they used to live near temple. The temple was in Barkit Road at that time, not in a small center, not the big temple we have now. So they used to live near the temple, and she allowed me and a group of other devotees to sleep over in her house. Of course, nobody slept. We just stayed, and I heard a lot about Guru Maharaj from all the different devotees. And it was such a beautiful impression I had in my heart. And then we got up and we all collected flowers to offer to him, and we all came. We were standing in the road waiting for Guru Maharaj to come, and it was like he was supposed to come right after darshan, but we waited for like about 45 minutes, and he wasn't coming. and that wasn't giving me a good feeling. I'm like a very punctual and like I never go 1 minute before or 1 minute after. So keen about all this many material right things, So in my heart, I started thinking, oh, what is this? So many devotees, they left their college and job and household and children, unattended. They're all standing here. Why is this Guru Maharaj not coming out? Why is he not caring for them? We are all standing for 45 minutes. Like that in my heart, I started thinking. And then I felt so bad about myself because if somebody is a follower of Srila Prabhupada, based on the faith I had on Srila Prabhupada, I knew that the way I was thinking was very wrong and offensive. Uh, even if they had imbibed a tiny particle of the glorious qualities of Srila Prabhupada and the glorious teachings of Srila Prabhupada, you'll find a very genuine person. So, and Guru Maharaj has been in Iskcon for so long and such a dedicated disciple of Srila Prabhupada. So I felt so bad about myself for having thought like that. And I decided to go to Srila Prabhupada. And my eyes were all filled with tears. So instead of standing in the road waiting for Guru Maharaj to come out, I went inside the temple. I went to Srila Prabhupada and I offered obeisance to him. And I was praying in my heart, if this is the person from whom I should take shelter, if he is one such genuine devotee, an ideal teacher just like you are, Srila Prabhupada, kindly give me a signal, kindly somehow help me understand, because my heart is so filled with all this, external things that are very important that I cannot, I actually think bad about devotees, so I was praying like that, and I offered obeisance and I got up, and immediately there was a lot of commotion. So I understood that Guru Maharaj was leaving the inside quarters from behind the temple and he was coming to the front of the temple. So I was just assessing what do I do now? Do I go and stand in some side, or should I run out of the temple? I was just thinking what I should be doing, and just I was contemplating like that, and I was just slightly moving away from Prabhupada, and I just got up and slightly moved away, and I saw Guru Maharaj just in front of me, and I did not know what to do. So I offered all the flowers. I was holding many flowers. So I took and I offered all the flowers at his lotus feet, and I offered obeisance. And I got up and he gave this a smile. So I've never seen somebody smile so wide, as if he knew me for like so many days, and we are like best of friends, and some very kind and warm, big smile, so typical of him. And then I felt like this was the signal that Srila Prabhupada was giving me. I was praying to him to give me a signal, and as soon as I got up, immediately Guru Maharaj came in front of me. So in my heart I felt this is Srila Prabhupada giving me a signal, and I decided that I would like to associate more with Guru Maharaj. So then I eventually subscribed for his diary of a traveling preacher. We don't have, in those days we did not even have like proper computer systems, it would be some kind of a published and printed and circulated, emails. If you have, you could get it, you could get the diary immediately, like that. Srila Prabhupada's Guru Maharaj's diary of traveling preacher I got, and I read, and I saw how all his efforts were similar to Srila Prabhupada's efforts, traveling all over the world, preaching the glories of Krishna. A lot of Rath Yatra. Guru Maharaj would go everywhere there is some Rath Yatra. So a lot of Rath Yatra pastimes. I would hear about different centers and Rath Yatra, and that is big crowd, and that is a very big opportunity to preach. So I felt him to be very sincerely executing the desire of Srila Prabhupada in spreading the mission of Krishna consciousness. And slowly I started in my own way communicating with him. Sometimes I would send emails, but mostly I would write in my own diary, and I will tell him everything. Instead of writing Dear Diary, I would say Dear Guru Maharaj, and I would just share with him. Um, I wouldn't write every day, but I would write many important things that were happening with me, some spiritual dreams I have, or if I would be troubled by something, I would write to him. So I have this very clear memory of writing to Guru Maharaj in my diary. And I just finished my engineering college, and I got a job which required for me to go to Belgium, and for training purpose for a small period I had to go there. So and and I did not know whether there were devotees there, um, whether there was any association possible. So I was feeling sad, scared to be away from Chennai devotees, to be away from Banu Maharaj. So I was writing to Guru Maharaj and praying to him to somehow protect my spiritual life, because I had to go. It was something I had to do, but at the same time, I didn't want to be without devotees. So I wrote to him. I prayed to Guru Maharaj for shelter. And within the next 2-3 days, I got the Back to Godhead magazine. And when I turned to the last pages, I wanted to see if I knew that in Belgium there was a Radhadesh Iskcon. It's a big center, very huge center with farm and everything. So I was just curious to understand where is Radhadesh? Is it near the place? I was going to stay in a place called Antwerp, which was like a headquarters for the company Alcatel I was working. And I wanted to know if this play Antwerp was far away from Radhadesh, or could I ever go, how to go. I was trying to figure out things. The first thing was to get the address and ask, how far this is, like that. So I had some Belgian people who were my colleagues, not my colleagues, they were training us. So I found this address, Belgium, few centers were there. And I was reading, and then I was surprised because in Antwerp, there was a temple. So then I took it to my boss. He was from Belgium. And I asked him, is this place mentioned here, is this place somewhere near the Belgium office we have it for Alcatel? And he read the address and he said, this is America Lay, is same road as our company, just a few blocks down is this address. So I was totally surprised, and I was very moved and very grateful, because I felt Guru Maharaj was actually protecting me. And when I went to Belgium, I had so much association. The president and his wife, they are like my second parents. And they preached to not only to me, all the other young people who were there with me. They took us to Radhadesh. They organized special programs. And because we are Indians, naturally, we could sing bhajans and all. So they made us sing a lot of Krishna bhajans, and they made special program in Radhadesh. And some of my colleagues who worked there with me, they became devotees also. So it was a very rewarding experience, being in Belgium with a very close association of the devotees there was very rewarding. So I remember this particular night in Belgium. The next day was my birthday, and we had some talk in the office, and they were saying that miracles means they should repeatedly occur. If something happens only once, it is called as a coincidence. And if something is supposed to be a miracle, then it should be happening again and again. So this particular statement, it was there in my head, it stuck. And somehow I related this to the miracle of finding Guru Maharaj through Srila Prabhupada. I thought it was a miracle from Srila Prabhupada that I was able to meet Guru Maharaj. I offered obeisance and I prayed. And as soon as I got up, I saw Guru Maharaj. So I thought it was a miracle. That signal was a miracle. So when this person said like that, I felt like sometimes, even though we know philosophically that your faith should not be based on miracles, sometimes you just think like, oh, well, is this not a special bond? Is this not something that Prabhupada is approving? Like that, your heart, you just feel some kind of confusion. I was taken over by some kind of confusion. Then the thought was lingering, and back and forth, I was thinking this way, and then I would say, oh my God, I don't want to think something offensive. Oh, please, Guru Maharaj, forgive me. Like that, I was having this back and forth thoughts, and I went to sleep that night. Then and then I had this wonderful dream and Srila Prabhupada was there, and he asked me to go to the Buckingham Palace, where the royal family of United Kingdom lives. And he asked me to go and preach to them in the Buckingham Palace. So I went to the palace, but somehow the palace was like some kind of maze, and I felt that I got lost. Instead of preaching to the royalties, I found myself like suffocated in the whole kind of maze, and I was trying desperately to come out of that maze. And eventually I found a balcony, and I jumped out of the balcony, and I came running, from Buckingham Palace. Somehow I ran back to Chennai, and Srila Prabhupada was there near my house in one place known to me. And then I go to Srila Prabhupada and I told him, I'm so sorry, Srila Prabhupada, I got lost. You wanted me to preach there, but when I went there, I got lost. I'm so sorry. And Srila Prabhupada said, yes, I know. And then I told Srila Prabhupada, I'm feeling very hungry. And then Srila Prabhupada said, yes, and he extended his hand with puri, and in Bengali, we call it halwa. And in South India, it's made with suji and all. In South India, we call it as it's a sweet made out of suji. It's in Tamil Nadu, when you say halwa, it is different. In Bengali, when you say it's halwa, it's different. Kesari. Yeah, we call it kesari. It's a sweet preparation made with suji, and in Bengali, commonly it's eaten with puri. Puri with that sweet is a common combination. So Prabhupada extended his hand to give that to me. And I put my hand to take it from Prabhupada's hand, and I saw that his hands were no more old and brown, and his hands looked very big and very fair. So I was very puzzled, and I looked up, and I saw that instead of Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj was sitting there. And again, I saw the big, beautiful smile that I saw him give me the first time I saw him. So, and I woke up on my birthday to that big smile. And for me, it was very significant, because initiation is a birth, so me having a dream like that, where Srila Prabhupada has given me again connection to Guru Maharaj, on my birthday. It was very significant for me. Of course, I cried like anything. I cry for everything. I'm happy, I cry. I'm sad, I cry a lot. Sometimes my kids say that if we were to give you another form except for human form, probably it'll be like a river or something. So I was crying whole day, and I just felt so happy. And it wasn't a coincidence. If it happens once, it's coincidence. If it happens more than once, then it's a miracle. And that small doubt I had in my head because of somebody's statement, that was immediately wiped out from my head by Srila Prabhupada's mercy, that he gave me the blessing in the form of Guru Maharaj on my birthday. Birthday is also the connection comes with Diksha. Birthday is being born again. Diksha is being born again. So I was crying so much. I was very thankful to Prabhupada for confirming this. And I was telling to myself that when I go to India and when I see Guru Maharaj again, I'm going to ask him if he would accept me as his disciple. Bhaktichar Maharaj's servant was once there in Chennai, and he was telling that Prabhupada had told that if you want a first and second initiation, you should go and ask, but sannyas should be given. So I said, I'm going to ask, I'm going to ask Guru Maharaj if he would allow me to be his spiritual daughter, his disciple. So I came back to India, and after some time, that year, it was a South Indian safari. Guru Maharaj was bringing a big group of devotees. Every year after Gaur Purnima, Guru Maharaj travels to different holy places. And I've heard about it, but I could never actually make it to any of those places because it was very far away from South India. So that year, Guru Maharaj was coming right to South India. Right after I came back from Belgium, Guru Maharaj was there in South India. So I got this opportunity. I was super happy. So I said, now I'll get so much association with Guru Maharaj, and I'm going to ask him if I could become his disciple. So with that determination, I joined the South Indian safari. We visited many holy places. We call it Divya Desams, some important places of Lord Chaitanya's pastimes, many holy places where Lord Vishnu is worshipped. And one of the places where we halted was the Sri Rangam. And Sri Rangam is the place where one of the Alvars, Andal, was she was given in marriage to Lord Vishnu, Sri Ranganath. Sri Rangam is the place where we have the temple of Lord Ranganath. And Andal is a very great devotee of Lord Ranganath. She's an incarnation of Lakshmi. And her father, Periyarvar, they're both Arvars. And he would give Lakshmi, Andal, in marriage to Ranganath in that temple. So that's the pastime place where Andal was married to Lord Ranganath. And I was particularly in that place. Somehow I had this desire that I should see Guru Maharaj, and I'm going to ask, because soon we were going to finish the safari and everybody is going back to Mayapur for Vyas Puja. So I felt I have very small time. I have to somehow approach him and ask him if I could get initiated. So I was looking for him, how do I meet Guru Maharaj? Always so many devotees, so whom should I contact? How do I meet? I was trying very desperately to meet him. And suddenly Guru Maharaj came to me, and then he said, Hema, I'm looking for you. And then I was like, yes, Guru Maharaj. And he said, do you want to do a drama? You become Andal, and I'll become Periyarvar, and I'll get you married to Lord Ranganath. What do you think? And I was like, that is exactly what I wanted to ask him, if he would become my father and if he would become my spiritual master. Periyalvar is the father of Andal, and he gave his daughter in marriage to the Lord. The spiritual master is your father, and he helps you connect with Krishna. So that was like the third time miracle. And I was like, I just couldn't say anything. It was like one more confirmation that he was my spiritual master. It was I could sense that what I was going through, he was able to understand, and he was accordingly reciprocating. So I was filled with gratitude. I was moved by his kindness. So when we went back to Mayapur, I had requested Guru Maharaj if I could take initiation from him, and Guru Maharaj kindly accepted me. He said, "You are already my daughter, you're already my disciple. Initiation is just a formality. You're already my spiritual daughter." Like that. So at that time, I had prayed to Guru Maharaj that this is what I would like. I would like Guru Maharaj that I would be able to see, just like how I'm able to appreciate Srila Prabhupada through his books and through reading his life history. I would like to appreciate you. I would like to appreciate how you are also an ideal teacher, how you're a wonderful teacher. That is something that was, like different people have different traits, different qualities. So this is my nature, that I like to see how Srila Prabhupada's disciples exhibit all those wonderful teachings of Srila Prabhupada. I enjoy when I capture them doing activities which Srila Prabhupada would attest, which Srila Prabhupada himself has shown by example. I relish those, So I was praying like that to Guru Maharaj. So by his mercy, from 99, I moved to Mayapur. From then till now, I've had so many opportunities, personal and from hearing from others, to appreciate and gratefully see how Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj are so deeply connected, and how Guru Maharaj is such an ideal teacher. And Guru Maharaj is an ideal teacher because he is an ideal disciple. That has been the first thing that churned up in my head. His idealism comes because he follows Srila Prabhupada's instructions to the dot, and that empowers him to act as a ideal teacher himself. So dedicated, so surrendered to Srila Prabhupada. And I would like to highlight some of the wonderful qualities of Guru Maharaj that I have observed over the many years, that always remind me of Srila Prabhupada. So one of the beautiful qualities of Guru Maharaj that I very often have observed is his heart that cares for others. He's very truly caring. When I came to Mayapur and when I started serving under him as his correspondent secretary for Congregational Development Ministry, I had frequently observed Guru Maharaj coming late. But I did not observe only that. I would also observe what held him behind. And it would be very often because he's there with some devotee in some way that changes their life, some very crucial instruction. When Guru Maharaj comes down, every floor you will be seeing some devotee standing, something they have to tell him, sometimes something very happy, sometimes some kind of, they're in trouble, they want some advice or some help. And nothing was superficial. Nothing was simply philosophically said. He would impact and he would act in a very personal way, which is like giving life to philosophy, and that takes time. So that is, I was very happy to find out why Guru Maharaj was coming late, because just walking those that distance from his lotus building room to wherever the meeting venue, whatever, he would have impacted so many people's life in a very personal and caring way, and very important instructions and or some kind of help he would have offered devotees, and because the whole Mayapur is under him, so a lot of things he would just take care of before he would just come to the meeting. So, and particularly was very kind with devotees who are newly coming to Mayapur from west, particularly in food, climate, super hot and super cold, super spicy food, and all this, and a cultural shock. So when devotees come newly to Mayapur, he's so attentive. Once in Guru Maharaj's office, we had one Bhakti Angela Mataji. Now she's a disciple of Guru Maharaj. Happily married and residing in Dham with her husband and child. But at that time, when she newly arrived in Mayapur, it was like a whole lot of like floating in the air, you don't find yourself a grip to stand in ground. And I had this opportunity to observe firsthand how he was very personal and asking about how she's doing, health, food, what she is doing, and all the time very caringly inquiring. And when he would come from traveling from somewhere, he will go to temple, he'll take darshan, and he'll collect everybody. Pujaris will all give him tulasi and garlands, and he will take the tulasi, and then he will come and he'll give to everyone who is there with him. So we would go when Guru Maharaj comes. We will all go. We will do parikram with him, and he would give us tulasi. Me and my husband. We would get tulasi from Guru Maharaj like that, and Angela would also come all the time. And at that time, one time she got the notification a little later. So by the time she arrived in temple, Guru Maharaj had already distributed tulasi, and he was climbing up the stairs of Lotus building, the first fleet of stairs. And she just came with her cycle, and she paused, and she was like panting. And I immediately saw her, so I felt bad that she didn't get tulasi and she didn't get association of Guru Maharaj. So I was quickly going to, give her some tulasi. But even before I could reach her, Guru Maharaj loudly called out to me, and he said, "Hemagopi." And then I turned and I looked at him, and he said, "Give some tulasi to Angela," and he stood there in those steps, and till I reached, and I gave her some tulasi, and she took, and then she looked up, and she put her hands and said, "Thank you." And then he gave his typical big beautiful smile, and then he walked. And these kind of gestures and care, it actually impacts devotees' life. They, wherever they are from, they forget everything, and they simply stay under his lotus feet and take shelter of Mayapur Dham. So like that, Prabhuji, probably I should be stopping now, right, Prabhu?
Mataji, because we started late, so if you have more pastimes to share, please, I think go ahead.
Okay. Could you give me some kind of signal on when I should stop? I don't want to disturb the devotees.
I think maybe we can you can stop around 9:05.
All right.
Then we can open it up for question answer.
Okay. And another very ideal quality that I have observed in Guru Maharaj is how he can empower people to do service, and how he can give them full credit for doing that service, and how very kindly he can correct mistakes. And this is a very valuable lesson that has helped me as a parent, as a teacher. For many years now, I have learned from Guru Maharaj and applied, and it's a very wonderful way of treating devotees. I was the corresponding secretary, and my husband was the manager in Congregational Development Ministry. And then we had asked one Mataji to help with some particular service, and somehow I felt that the service was of some not good quality. And I thought that maybe I should take over and do it myself, even if it would mean that it would make things a little hectic for me. Maybe I should do it like that. And that Mataji she's very fond of Guru Maharaj. So she was very keen on serving him in some way or another. So when I said that when I complained and pointed out all those wrong things and I wanted to take over, she actually suffered a lot, and she went to Guru Maharaj and she complained about me. So then I got a call from Guru Maharaj one evening. So me and my husband, we went there to the rooftop, and it was evening time. Guru Maharaj was having his fruits, and at that time, Guru Maharaj was speaking to me in a very chastising way. He wasn't shouting, but he was grave, and it was very scary for me because that was another side to his wide smile I was seeing for the first time, and it was I was totally red, sweating like anything. Whole face was red, and my hands were trembling, and I was crying because I had displeased Guru Maharaj in some severe way, and Guru Maharaj was unhappy, and he was chastising me about it, and I was crying. My husband was behind me; he was sitting right behind me. So when Guru Maharaj saw that I was getting so disturbed, he was eating grapes, pomegranate, he was eating those fruits, and he picked up some of those fruits from his plate and he gave it in my hand. And I took, and then I just felt immediately, I got this realization of how this is not anger. You know, when you're angry with someone, you just throw it all out on them, and you have a very bad feeling towards them. You know, you sometimes it leads to fight, and people don't talk to each other, they lose respect, they lose faith. But when there is a genuine chastisement, there is no anger or hatred or any kind of bad wishing. His chastisement was so genuine, and all he was doing was making my service to Srila Prabhupada better. And there was not a tinge of anger, even though he was angrily speaking, because I could see he was giving me fruits from his plate. That's a big maha, no, to get Guru Maharaj. He was eating and he personally took from his plate and he was giving me his maha. He wanted that established relation to remain. And at the same time, at that time I had that realization, just the power of taking a morsel of his maha immediately gave me this understanding that this is very good for me. He is actually not hating me, or not, you know, it's not like he's going to stop talking to me, or he's going to go and tell everywhere what kind of a stupid person I am, which is generally what people do when they're angry with you. You know, he's a real well-wisher of me. You know? So he explained to me in a nutshell, just recollecting those instructions. You cannot do all the services in the world yourself, right? So you'll have to empower people. You have to give them the Shakti to do some service and proper guidance, how it is to be done properly. And when they do it, you have to give credit to them for everything they have done. And you have to correct them with compassion. If they're doing something wrong, we do not think about kicking them out or thinking of them as being very low or incapable. You know, that is not the mood, because I was sitting right in front of him, very incapable of treating devotees properly. And he was there showing by his personal example how to treat somebody who has done mistake. And the Mahaprasadam is the sign that I'm still with you. I am still your spiritual master, your loving spiritual father, and the chastisement is the empowerment I got to always remember how to treat devotees properly. And he also said so many nice good things about how the service is what I'm doing. Many things are okay. It was like a sandwich. You say something and then you say what needs to be fixed, and you say something nice and like a proper sandwiched manner. So I learned that from Guru Maharaj, and I have applied it in many situations. And that's where devotees feel, when you give them credit for what they're doing, when you don't try to snatch away their service, and just let them fix their mistakes, give them that second chance. That is so nourishing for devotees. The relationship and the health of the relationship is well maintained by doing that. And I have few points, but I would like to talk about Guru Maharaj's love for Lord Gauranga. Of course, we know Srila Prabhupada is called as the Senapati Bhakta. So obviously that is the quality I've admired in Srila Prabhupada. Senapati is, the king is in the kingdom. Senapati goes everywhere and wins all the other places for the king. So Srila Prabhupada is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Senapati. He wins the whole world and surrenders, makes everyone surrender to Lord Gauranga. And that special role, that special connection Srila Prabhupada has with Lord Gauranga, I have seen, I'm sure all of us have seen in Guru Maharaj also, in his deep love for Lord Gauranga. And he is compiling all the Acharyas' writings on Lord Gauranga and making it our Chaitanya Leela presentation. Every night when Guru Maharaj gives Chaitanya Leela classes, it's compiling all of the Acharyas' works, and like Srila Prabhupada did for Srimad Bhagavatam. And he remembers so many details of Lord Gauranga's pastimes, even though it's like so vast, like you hear some pastime and you hear some names, and then you go to another pastime and you hear some other names, then these names get mixed with that name. I mean, maybe it's not for everyone, but for me it is so difficult to closely follow and understand. It's a very, very, very vast Leela with so many devotees, and Guru Maharaj remembers all nitty-gritty tiny details. So one time when I was working as teacher in the international school, I requested Guru Maharaj if I could take his take one pastime from his Chaitanya Leela compilation. The book is not yet published, but I knew that it is an exhaustive it's an exhaustive study of Lord Chaitanya's life. Everybody's writing about him is going to be there. So I wanted for the students in international school to perform the Leela of Lord Gauranga's wedding. And I asked Guru Maharaj if I could kindly borrow that marriage of Lord Gauranga and Vishnu Priya. If I could borrow that session from his book, because I wanted to do drama with that script. I wanted all the details and everything. So I think Mahavaraha Prabhu sent it to me, and I gave it to the students. We discussed, we made a script, and we wanted to invite Guru Maharaj to come and see the drama. So I took as many as who could come. It was night hour, so we took as many students as possible, and we went there to greet Guru Maharaj and to request him, to extend our invitation and request him to come for the open day like the annual day in the school where this drama would be performed. And something amazing happened at that time. So Guru Maharaj started, he said, so the Vishnu Priya drama you're doing? I said, yes, Guru Maharaj. And then he said, who is Gauranga? Then the girl who was going to be Gauranga was luckily there. So she put her hands on and said, who is Vishnu Priya? And then we said, oh, this person, that person. Then he started, so in the wedding, who is going to be the juggler? Who is going to be the gesture? Who are going to be the soldiers? Who is going to be the tax collector? Who is Buddhimanda Khan? And I was like, I have read that pastime, I've made script out of it, but I could not remember that in order to make the wedding a real grand wedding, like how it happened, you would needed so many characters. Of course, in the drama, we kind of adjust things. So we had just put some people to be there. And the demigods who were dancing, they arrived in the wedding and they were all dancing. And he started asking, it was like he was watching the scene and asking me, who is going to be this character? Who is going to play that character? Who is going to play that character? I was the kind of taken aback, because we were going to be like 15 girls doing 15, 20 girls together doing the drama. And when I was walking down, I realized if I have to bring that Leela fully, of course you cannot bring back the Leela, but to give that sense that of marriage ceremony and procession, it's not going to be 20. So literally we gathered like literally like more than 40 people. We have 40 children. We had to take palanquin, every detail Guru Maharaj was asking, and all those things to create. And it was a very thorough meditation for me as the director of the drama, and children who wrote the scripts and who took part in the drama and all those scenes. And when Guru Maharaj came, we played the drama, and as I was watching, I was able to see that it was not a simple, it wasn't a simple small happening, and the degree with which Guru Maharaj remembers Lord Gauranga's pastimes, and all the nitty-gritty different people and what are there, the soldiers who walked behind the wedding procession, and the jugglers, people who do the ball, so I was amazed at, he gave me by his causeless mercy a small realization about how wonderful this would have been. We were not even touching the surface, and it's like ocean, the pastime, the depth of the pastime. And it also gave me the realization of how much deeply he is in that ocean, that he is able to see all those details. It's not that he was holding his book and asking, where are these characters? Who will play this character or that character? He just spontaneously, as if like he was seeing and asking. So that is a situation where I realized his deep, very deep love for Lord Gauranga, and it gave me much deeper faith that he is really Gauradana Jan. He is man of Lord Gauranga. And so, and like that, we could talk unlimited about unlimited glories of Guru Maharaj for unlimited time. But the crux of the message is Guru Maharaj is very deeply connected to Srila Prabhupada, and glorifying Guru Maharaj as an ideal teacher, as an ideal spiritual master, is a perfect way of glorifying Srila Prabhupada, because that is the way an ideal person impacts another person. Srila Prabhupada's glory is that he has impacted all these wonderful devotees to become soldiers of his Sena. Now he is the Senapati and they're all his soldiers. And we cannot separate the Senapati and the Sena. To discredit the Sena is in some way discrediting the Senapati also. So they are a parcel. Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada, they come as a parcel. Yeah. Guru Maharaj is the ideal teacher because he is the ideal disciple of another ideal teacher, who is Srila Prabhupada. Thank you. Thank you so much, devotees, for this opportunity to glorify Guru Maharaj. Kindly forgive me for my mistakes and offenses. I'm very grateful for this opportunity to be with you all and to remember Guru Maharaj in this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji, for such wonderful, pastimes and how Guru Maharaj used to interact with different devotees, how he used to take care of different devotees. Especially when you were telling the last pastime where Guru Maharaj told you, okay, where are, soldiers and Bhakti Vedanta Khan, etc. I just remembered like few years ago when I was talking to Sarbhom Prabhuji. So like when I was in Bangalore, so Sarbhom Prabhuji used to visit frequently there, and he'll do the Bhagavad Gita for a week. So he was telling that once we advance to a higher stage, once we like a person, advance very much spiritually, then he just don't tell from his mind what is the Leela. He actually sees it and he just narrates it. So when he was saying, I could relate, okay, Guru Maharaj was actually seeing and he was saying, okay, so people were missing. So yeah, that's very heart-touching and very wonderful. If any devotee has any question, it is the time to ask Mataji. I know we are a little late today. Sorry, extremely sorry for that. But if any devotee has anything, please go ahead. I have enabled, so you all can unmute as well. If someone wants to say something. Okay, I think no comments from anyone today. Just in the chat, we can see a lot of Hari Bol and thank you messages. Wonderful glorification and heart melting pastimes. Thank you for such nectar. So these are some comments in the comment section, Mataji. So on behalf of Iskcon Seshadripuram CASSS, I would like to again thank you, Mataji, for coming and sharing such wonderful pastimes with us and helping us connect more and more to Guru Maharaj. So we'd like to thank you, Mataji, by chanting one time Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Mataji.
So much, Mataji.
Very nice class, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavot Pranam. Very, very nice class, Mataji.